Hey guys, what's going on? It's Codiak here, back for another video, and today we are talking about gearing up at 110. Yes, if you are playing the game, you've just reached 110, there is a lot of stuff to keep in mind, and there's a lot of information out there. So I want to bring you guys from 800, from 110 all the way up to 850, which is the current cap of the eye level, help you guys get ready for the Emerald Nightmare. So, fresh 110, you just hit 110, your gear's all over the place, you're trying to figure out what the heck to do. The first thing I'd recommend is to go kill a couple rare mobs. The reason I say that is because rare mobs at level 110 start dropping item level loot that's at 800. Now this is great for a couple mobs here, a couple mobs there, fill in any really bad pieces that you have. And you can always look up what pieces, say you need wrist, say you want to look up something on Wowhead that's going to replace a really bad piece of gear. You can just look that up, figure out what rare mob drops it, go kill him, boom, free piece of gear. Very simple thing you guys can do. If you want to use an add-on to help you out, there's an add-on called NPC Scan, which will look around the area that you're in and basically like say, hey, look, this guy is really close, you should go kill him. I know a lot of you guys don't use add-ons or don't like to use add-ons. That's totally fine, just a suggestion for you guys. But ultimately, you don't want to waste a lot of time doing this because in the long run, it's not really worth it. We're going to move past 800 very, very quickly. Now, the second thing I recommend is going right to your class order hall because two reasons. The first is that it gives you a free 810 helm. You heard it right, guys. Free 810 helm just for showing up at level 110. You also want to start your research orders. And the research orders are very important because they take multiple days to complete and they will increase all the artifact power that you gain by a percentage. And the first one is by 25%. So we want to keep our weapon moving forward. We want to keep upgrading it, getting new traits, all of that stuff. It's very important that you do that. Now, it should take 10-15 minutes to get to your class order hall, do the things you need to do, and get back into the world. The next thing that I highly recommend is Suramar. Suramar is the zone that's been sitting there since, 100. You're like, what is that place? I've heard world quests, I've heard all sorts of stuff about this Suramar place. Well, you need to get to Suramar. Khadgar, I believe, is the one who starts the quest line. He will send you there. It's a very short escort type quest, and then a few other things that you have to, work and get in motion, and then you unlock the zone. You also will begin to unlock world quests. Now, world quests, guys, are so important because they scale based on your item level. And I say that meaning that the items scale on your item based on your item level, and that's super important. These are so high priority I cannot begin to tell you guys because there's something called emissary quests. If you look at the bottom of your map, you'll see that there is a section that says emissary. Emissary quests unlock every 3 days on a cycle. So that means you don't have to log in every day. You don't have to go super grindy every single day. You can miss a day or two here as long as you're doing all of the things that you're supposed to, making sure all your champions are out, making sure that all of your research power stuff is in. But the emissary quests are simple. You have to do 4 world quests based on the emissary mission you're assigned, and you get a cache. The cache has a chance to drop some really important gear. This gear is so good for you guys. It can Titan Forge. It can get up there to 840, 850. That is the gear that you want to get. It will also give you all sorts of artifact power, all sorts of random stuff, order resources. It can do anything. They're very easy to do. Guys, you can also get a legendary from these chests, and that is very important because those are $8.95. Everybody wants their first legendary. I know a lot of us are still waiting for ours. So emissary quests, emissary quests, emissary quests. Now, the second thing you can do is look at the world quests. Each zone has a bunch of world quests. They give rep for doing them, they give items for doing them, but you want to look for the ones that are going to give you gear. Now, a lot of those are either dungeon-based or danger quests, and the danger quests are not soloable for most people. I will say this. There are bodyguards and assisted allies from your class order halls that you can help bring with you on the journey. Now, there's a difference between the two of them. Bodyguards are constantly with you and provide that constant DPS, heals, tank, whatever they are, to your character. Now, you also have assisted allies who you can assign to you that give you some type of ability. I know for the hunters, there's one where you can call down a rain of arrows. But guys, keep in mind that's on a cooldown, and I think most of them are. So if you're going to go after some of these world quests, you may want to assign a bodyguard, you may want to assign one of the assisted allies. Both of them will aid you on the journey. Good stuff here. Just be careful. A lot of the danger stuff is harder to kill. You're going to want a 5-man group. You cannot do it in a raid group. You will not get credit for it. So jump into the LFG, the looking for group module, find a group, just type in, danger, whoever the name of the mob is. See if you can find a group of people. There are usually people farming that mob. So that is what I recommend to you guys. And regardless of the emissary quest, just go out, do the world quest. There's a ton of gear out there. There's a ton of rep, order hall resources, artifact power, you name it, it is out there. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about reputation and some crafted gear. Now, the reputation stuff is definitely not the path of least resistance. Each faction has 820 revered gear and 850 exalted gear. Now, that's great, but that's a lot of work. Really a lot of work to get up to exalted right off the bat in Legion. So just so you guys know, the gear is out there. If eventually you get to that point and you still need the gear, it may be a solution for you, but I would not recommend it. It's usually worse than the crafted gear. It's just not the best path for us. Now, the crafted gear, on the other hand, is something of note. The crafted necks are best in slot for most cases because they have a socket. The new gems, I believe, are plus 150 to a stat and plus 200. And, for me, I want to chuck as much mastery as I possibly can into my character. So if I can get a neck piece that's got a socket, that's a huge step up and really is best in slot for most classes. Now the rings are also pretty good because there are no main stats on them anymore. They're only secondary stats. You can't equip 2 of the same stat rings, but you can at least get one of them. And again, definitely some of the better in slot pieces for your class. You're going to have to look it up, see if it's actually best in slot for you. Some of them are a little wonky, so you're going to have to do the research yourself. I would say though, do not buy the Dalaran ring for 250k. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to need to buy in the next couple months. I think that 250k on a ring is just ridiculous, especially when we're going to get rid of it in less than a month. It's going to be a waste of your money. Now, on the other hand, I'll talk about trinkets. Trinkets you may want to invest some money in. There's an alchemy trinket and a dark moon trinket. Those are the ones of note because they are pretty good for some classes. I know for the hunter, specifically my class, the dark moon card is up there on the sims. You're going to have to look at the sims for your class, and if you don't know where you can find them, I would start with Icy Veins, and if you can't find them on Icy Veins, I would go to the class Discord channel for your class, and you can just ask anybody in trade chat. They'll provide you with that link. And you know what, screw it, we're going to provide you guys with the links below. We'll do our best to make sure that you guys can find all of the information that you need in the description below. That's why we're here, right? So crafted gear, definitely something to keep your mind on. If you have the chance to get one of the necks, the ring, or maybe you need a trinket, I would say go for it, especially if you have some extra coin lying around. Now, there's not much I can say about Legendaries. Legendaries are item level 895, everybody wants one, and these are the ways you can get them. Daily chests, class hall mythic chests, PvP chests, 5-man dungeons, world bosses, and raid bosses. Now, a lot of those are not an everyday thing. They're not something that we get 500 of a day. So they're rare, and they should be rare. They're legendaries. There's no advice, guys. There's just play the game. Play the game, do the content, and make sure you change your loot spec. We've had one guy in our guild already. He's a new member of our guild. He was questing as Affliction or something like that, doing a dungeon as Affliction, forgot to change his loot spec to Destruction, and he got an Affliction Legendary, which he's not going to be using for raids. So it's basically an 895 stat stick. It's a really shitty situation because he's probably not going to get another Legendary for a while. Something to keep in mind. If you're questing as, say, Beast Mastery and you want Marksman, make sure you change your loot spec, guys. It's only going to save you a headache down the road. Now, we've also talked a little bit about world bosses. World bosses are coming out before the raids open. There will be 5 of the 11 bosses available each week, and they're totally random spawns. They will have a chance to drop 850 gear. 850, that's the cap, guys. So this is a top priority. Find a group that's doing world bosses, find guilds, find whatever, do the world bosses. 5 out of the 11. That's 5 chances a week to get 850 gear. And it's pretty easy. I haven't seen any of the world bosses, but usually we can take them down. So, high priority. And last but not least, guys, let's talk about dungeons. This is the pinnacle. If you guys ignore everything else I've said, get into the dungeons. Normal dungeons, I wouldn't waste too much time in. Find enough gear to get you to heroic dungeons, because heroic dungeons have a chance to drop loot that War Forges and Titan Forges up to 850. And now the 850 gear is extremely rare, but it can Titan Forge up that high. Now, this is the pinnacle. This is where we're going to get ready for the raid. Heroic dungeons are challenging, but they're easily doable for most raiders that have a decent handle on their class. And the goal is to get to Mythic ASAP, because a Mythic drops 840 gear that has a chance to Titan Forge up to 850. So here's what I would recommend. Make sure you're in a good guild. Make sure you're finding friends that are doing heroic content, doing mythic content. Make sure you know how to play your class. Make sure that you have enough gear that you're not hampering and hamstringing that group. And go out there, look for groups, guys. Say, hey, I want to do Dark Heart Thicket. I want to do whatever, and put the research in. Figure out what trinkets you need. Figure out what pieces and from which dungeons are going to give you the best opportunities to succeed. I will say there's some really cool content at 110. Blackrook Hold, Mauve Souls. There's some really cool dungeons out there that I would just recommend doing just for the shits and giggles of doing it, and because they're so cool looking. So that's pretty much it, guys. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of information about leveling and getting your item level all the way up to 850. It's going to take time. It's going to take persistence, but I think you guys can do it. If you have any questions about leveling up and gearing up to 850, please let us know in the comments below. My entire team is working every single day for hours on end to get us up to 850 to be ready for the Emerald Nightmare. And we want to help you guys out. We have a wealth of knowledge that we can share with you guys about where you can find things, what the best solution is for any problems you may be having, and where you can find the gear. Now, if you do want to kind of hard pin down what gear you want, I would recommend getting Atlas Loot, which they have started to finally keep updating. I know for a while it slowed down, but Atlas Loot will at least tell you what gear is in which dungeon. It's in the game as a module, and it's just a great tool to know where you need to go. There's a lot of dungeons out there. I know you guys don't always have all the time in the world to do every single mythic dungeon every week, but at least you can make informative decisions about where you want to spend your time. And that's what Exiled Power is all about. We're all about making smart decisions, and that's what we want to convey to you guys. Make smart decisions. Find the path of least resistance that's going to get you to a place where you're going to be competitive. It's all about being competitive and being prepared. So if you guys have any questions, or if you've liked this video, write us a comment, subscribe to the channel, give us a like. We have loved doing this stuff for you guys. If we can answer any questions, we are here for you. So without further ado, this has been Codiak for another video. We'll see you next time.